Oh,
I think so.
hey, hey there.
Oh, hey. Sorry about that. Hi, I'm Kyle Shear,
And I'm Michael Bilderback.
and we're urging you to go to a short track race this year.
Welcome to Outside the Fence, presented by Pit Talk TV. I'm Angel Smith. Racing has been in my family since before I was born. My uncles and my cousins raced, and my dad built and painted and lettered tons of race cars from the track before he passed away. I am married to DJ Smith, who is currently a late model driver at Rockford Speedway. On tonight's show, our first special guest we will talk to, a 5-time late model champion, Michael Bilderback.
Boo.
Our second special guest is Kyle Shear, concierge of left turns.
Connoisseur.
Connoisseur.
Close enough.
Close enough. We got
Not
it.
to make me say that word.
Big words. It took me a while to learn it too, so don't worry.
You guys announced it in the beginning. I should have just let you do it.
Yeah,
That was our intro.
it happens.
Outside the Fence is a show where you will get to meet all kinds of people: drivers, fans, crews, sponsors, owners, promoters, and hear the stories.
Stories, oh boy.
We got them. Couple of them.
First question: why did you become a race car driver?
You taking this one first, Kyle?
Oh man, I guess.
Race car.
I just wanted to be a race car driver my whole life, really. I mean, it's what I grew up is. My earliest recollections as a kid was I wanted to drive race cars, and so it's one of those things where I always strive to do it. I always wanted to do it, and I wasn't able to until I turned 18 years old. So I tried to do a lot in a short period of time, and I've been very fortunate to do a lot of things that I've done. And I don't know, it was always just a dream of mine. I can't say there's a certain point in time where I was like, yeah, I want to drive race cars. It's just the only thing I've ever known that I've wanted to do.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's obviously with my family being in it. It's in my blood. I guess I remember when I was probably 5 walking through the old McChesney Park Mall, and there was a little go-kart stand, and I just guess I wanted to go look at it, and pretty much from that point on, it was we're going racing, and it's from that point on we've ran. I think this is 22 years of racing for me, and it's something that I never want to let go and never not want to do it. It's maybe take a break and slow down my racing career at times of not racing 3-4 times a weekend, but you know, it's always in my blood. No matter how much I tell myself during the winter that I don't want to do it, I still do it.
You have to.
It always, you get that first warm day in the spring and you hear that first race car start up, and it ignites it right back up, and it's time to go again.
We had a day like that just the other week where it got warm out, and I was like, man, this is spring classic weather.
Yeah,
like that's instantly what you always go to no matter what.
Yep,
It's just,
warm day.
this is racing weather right here.
So you guys are more like the junior. You can be watching TV, but you're thinking racing.
I don't know. I guess for me, I kind of got burned. I can't say I got burnt out, but I kind of did. I did a lot working on the cars. You know, like you talk to most people, they get done with whatever their last race of the year is, whether it's, you know, short track or lacrosse, or they go run something down south, and then they'll have their car sit for, you know, a month, 2 months, or they don't start working on it till February, things like that. So they get this time off. And so for me, I didn't get that for a long time. I was working in the truck series, and I was putting in, you know, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 hours a week sometimes on that deal. So it kind of made it where I got worn out on it, and I almost didn't want to do it as much. So, like, I'm kind of burnt out on it, so I stopped thinking about it. But then during racing season, it's about all I think about.
But now you're helping everybody else, and you're not doing your own thing right now.
Yeah, it's expensive to drive a race car. So
I'll take it. He's been a good spotter for me in a lot of good races. So it's a drug. I mean, I tell everybody that it's an addiction, and it's probably an expensive addiction. But once you got it, it's pretty hard to let it go. And no matter which way you look at it, you're a racer. You're a racer for life. I mean, and I sure hope when I'm 70 years old, I can still try to get into a race car and go race it. You know, there's a lot of them racers around, you know, Wisconsin that are older and been doing it for 40 or 50 years, and I sure hope I can be one of them.
Gene Morocco was one of them.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Jerry Eckert, Conrad Morgan.
Al Schill.
Yeah,
I mean,
bunch of them.
all people I look up. And
Larry Schuler down at Grundy, he's still doing it.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm getting pretty old these days. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
At what age did you first wheel any vehicle?
Man, I don't know what first age was. I was pretty young, and it was just a go-kart out at my dad's shop, and he built it up, made it all nice for my brother and I, and made it so that had a racing motor on it and all that, probably more than what we should have been able to handle. And I could barely reach the pedals, and I just remember him saying, hit the gas a little bit when I pulled the cord, and I went full throttle. He pulled the cord, I took off, and I hit a trailer, and I hit the trailer tire, thank God. Otherwise, I would have went underneath of the trailer till about my head, and I would have decapitated myself at maybe 5, 6 years old.
We would have really missed you then, Kyle.
No, you wouldn't have.
Yeah,
Don't lie.
just a little bit. I honestly don't know. I started racing go-karts at 5. I'm sure with my grandpa's salvage yard, I got in some junk cars and been driving around the back. I remember a couple times taking customers' cars out back when I thought it was a car that was in the salvage yard and wrecking them out back. So I've been...
Whoops.
A customer's car you wrecked?
Yeah, I'd done that a few times.
It happens.
Well, they were sitting in the spot where I normally go get in the car to go drive around and back, and not my fault. I was like 5 or 6, so we wrecked a few. It was
right. They're supposed to tell a 5 or 6-year-old, don't get in that car.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, totally not my fault. But.
He was terrifying at that yard as a kid. I would go out there sometimes and meet up with him, get dropped off, whatever, or however I got there.
You wouldn't drive.
No. I remember once being on the back of a 4-wheeler, and it's just rusty old junk cars lined up, and he is full throttle sideways, and I'm on the back of that thing going, well, this is where I'm dying. We're not making it through right here.
But you went with it.
Oh, yeah, I did. I didn't care, but in the back of my head, I'm like, well, I've had a good life, I guess.
Yeah, all 6 years.
Yeah. 10 years old, I've had a good life.
It was, and then go-karts I started. Obviously, after we saw that thing, we went go-karting. I think you got a pretty good story of me when I was that young, so I'll let you take that one over.
We'll get to that one.
All right.
Oh,
like,
cliffhanger.
Who inspired you to race?
Man, I don't even know. I feel like there's a lot of people. It comes a lot from
Man.
It comes a lot from my dad and just my family in general. Being related to Joe Shear, and then my dad always having a race car from when I was a little kid. It's like I said earlier, my earliest recollections are of race cars and going to the race tracks and things like that. And I've hit my head a lot in life and I forget a lot of things, but I remember those racing things a lot. So that's really I want to say it comes from my dad and just going to the races, watching all those guys. And I'm same as Mike, watching guys from the stands wanting to race against them, wanting to be out there and then getting to race against them. It's been kind of cool to all of a sudden start doing that.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I was about the same way with, like I said, the family being in the racing, obviously growing up watching my Uncle Ricky, and then once I got racing, then hearing more stories, my grandpa was really the one that brought me through the steps of racing and kind of was behind me no matter what, and then learning more about his stories in the racing. And that was, and even my grandma Liz, she was, she raced right along with them. And I guess that was a funny story. That's how her and my grandpa met. That's what I've heard through the years. And so it's just, I think I was born with the racing blood, the racing fuel in it, and the oil and grease, and that's what I got.
We were screwed from birth.
Yeah,
really.
Pretty much. We were destined to do something with a race car, no matter what.
75% of the articles that I read mention your grandma and your grandpa.
Yep. And them two have been the only one that has truly been behind everything in my racing, no matter good, bad, ugly. I could do the worst thing on the racetrack, and they're still standing behind me saying I didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, that is very true.
Which you love them to death, and blood runs stronger than anything else, and it shows just the love they had behind me, and I'm so appreciative of everything they've ever done for me and still do for me.
So was your grandpa like, if you went out and you did something and he is like, that's not the way you're supposed to do it, did he tell you that, or would he just still say, no, you're doing fine? No,
he'd tell me I did wrong, and he'd laugh at me and flip me the bird. And, he was the funny old man that you love to death. He would be the first person to tell me I did it wrong, but then he'd be the first person to come back to me and say, all right, yeah, you did this wrong, but this is how we need to do it right, or and help me through it. He wouldn't just say you did it wrong and then walk away. He'd be there right there next to me trying to teach me how to do it better, and he grew up with, obviously, my uncle racing and all that. So he had a lot of years under his belt. Us young kids get bullheaded and think we know everything. So we had a bullheaded relationship, but in the end, it still worked out that I would listen to him. I wouldn't show that I was listening to him, but every time I was listening.
You paid attention.
He's now looking back going, man, he was right all those occasions.
Yeah, more than none, I think he was right.
I will say that the only thing that I ever think of when I'm racing Mikey is it's not like, man, if I wreck him, he's going to be mad at me and we're good friends, obviously. It's more like, man, Liz is going to kill me.
I've seen her in action.
I've heard that a lot from a lot of different racers. They're more scared of her than they are of me.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of the quiet guy in the back. I'll start talking, but then everyone else takes the fight over for me.
Yeah.
So
A couple years ago, we were down with the Roadrunners park, and I think Liz walked that path about 7 times, and she was on a mission.
Yeah.
And I'm like, everybody just back up.
probably 3 packs of cigarettes later, and fire bursting out of her ears. But yeah.
She's small, but she is scary.
She is feisty. Yep. You
I love her,
you
though.
love her
She's
to
so
death.
sweet.
Yep.
Kyle, 2007 was a good year for you. You drove the number 7 that year. How did you do racing the Dells?
The Dells, I love that place in the Mid-Am car. I had a lot of good runs there. I had a track record for a while there. I won my first race in 2007 there. And it was only my 13th career race in anything. And going out and winning it and passing for the lead on the outside, that was a lot of fun. I don't know. It's one you never forget. It's your first win, obviously, so you'll always remember that one. And yeah, it was cool. I did donuts. I came over the radio. I was like, Dad, can I do donuts? He said no. And so I dropped the gear and I hit the gas and I spun around like 2 or 3 times and pulled into the infield. He said no, and I was like, well, I don't care. I'm doing them anyways. So.
What is your favorite memory of racing?
I got a lot of them. I mean, I've been very fortunate to have a lot of opportunities in life. I mean, first win is obviously up there. Racing against my brother is up there. Getting to go and work in the truck series, be a tire changer, being in Daytona Victory Lane and Martinsville Victory Lane. Those are probably my best right there. But honestly, besides the win stuff, it's a lot of like the stuff that people don't see. It's a lot of the after racing, like hanging out, drinking, or just getting to the racetrack.
No, we don't do that.
No,
No,
I meant
apple
drinking
juice.
Mountain Dew.
Apple juice.
Mountain Dew. What are you talking
yeah.
about? Jeez, grow up. So, but no, like, that's the most fun is half the time after the race is hanging out with people. So those are my best memories probably.
All that money spent, and the most fun is afterwards. Hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, I can go with Kyle that I got a lot of cool races that we've won and a lot of things that we've done. The friendships that you build is obviously one of the greatest thing. It's people that are outside the racing world don't really understand that racing is truly a friendship, a family,
It is.
and everything. And they don't know that. And the friendships I've made and the people I've met is definitely one of the coolest things. But I will say the one win we do have was right after my grandpa went in the hospital, and we ran at Slinger and we won that race. It's probably the coolest thing that. It will always stand there for me.
I'm sure. You're gonna make me tear up there, guy.
It was the weirdest thing. He went in the hospital and I didn't want to race, but everyone kept telling us we needed to race, and we went up there and we ran good, and it was a race with Ryan Farrell. I think we ran on the outside of him for 10 laps, 15 laps, and the last 3 laps, it's like I had a boost of speed, and I just creeped a little bit more, and we ended up winning the race, and it was just. You could just feel everything in the air. It was really awesome.
That's amazing. Mikey, you started racing go-karts at Sugar River when you were 6 years old, and you were too little to run the box stock cars. But you didn't want to run the kid carts. How come?
They're too slow, pretty much. Yeah. We bought a cart, and so we went out and practiced in a bigger box stock cart, and so obviously I got the speed of that, but I was too young to race that. So they said I could race a kid cart for half the year or whatever, and then go to the box stock the next year. So, all right, well, we'll try it. And they gave us a kid cart to practice or whatever, and we pulled out. I remember this. The gate was right at the front stretch going to the start finish line. I pulled out. I was creeping about 2 miles an hour, awfully slow. Made it to about the 3rd corner. I parked the car right there, got out, and stopped my little probably 2-foot self back then, right back to the pits, and said, "Nope, I'm not driving that thing. It's too slow." And that was, we never touched that cart again.
That's because you were used to the speed.
Yep.
And the other ones, right?
Yep. The adrenaline, the everything, and ever since then, I want to go fast.
I want to go fast.
I want to go
so
fast.
little. That would just freak me out.
The
How
helmet-
fast were you going?
I don't know. Them go-karts probably went 35, 40 miles an hour.
And that's the box ones, or
yeah,
just
the kid
regular
carts were probably like 10.
Oh, okay.
So that was way. I mean, I could run faster than that. So I mean, I didn't want to race that.
Yeah,
I didn't get to
blame
do
you.
any of that, so I don't know anything about
Yeah.
go-karts.
You did you did. You had big wheels.
Oh yeah, big wheels. That's
Big
all
wheel
I had.
champion, right?
Big wheels. Yeah, 1993 and 94.
I wasn't
2
even
years
born
in a
in
row.
that.
Yeah. Well, the way to make me feel old.
Does your mind ever wander while you are racing? What do you think about sometimes? For example, I can't wait to be done. I want a burger and a beer, or what?
A lot of things. I mean,
Well, I guess when you were racing, I was spotting for you once. We were singing to each other the whole time. So
we sang that song from Anchorman, "Skyrockets in Flight." So
Oh,
that was.
do you
a good
know it?
song, but- man, I don't know.
I know very slim parts of this.
Just do what
It's
you
been
know.
a while.
Give it to him.
It's gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna find some. Nope, I'm lost.
Afternoon Delight.
Afternoon Delight.
Pew! I got the rockets.
Skyrockets in flight. Pew! Afternoon Delight. That's about all we
That's-
got.
yeah,
we knew all of it then somehow.
It was going one. I remember I was spotting. It was one to go, and coming out of one. I don't know. You were in the front row or second row or
No,
something.
I qualified like third or fourth that night. I was in the back.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think I was on the bottom. I think I was on the bottom and knew I was going to be tanking. So I was like, well, this doesn't really matter how this goes.
So I think it went green, and we sang this for like a good lap all the way
Yeah.
through this. It was so our minds do wander quite a bit.
Yeah.
I do-
I mean, like, and it's weird in races. I mean, you'll have times where, and maybe people won't admit this, maybe people will, but like, if you're out there and there's not much going on, not very many people around you, you'll find your mind wandering a lot. And it's weird because, like, you'll think of the weirdest things. Like, I remember once at Rockford, the wind was blowing just the right way, and we were going by the cheeseburger stand, and I was hungry. I was like, man, a cheeseburger sounds really good right now. Like, I actually keyed the mic up and said, so can someone get me a cheeseburger after this race? So, like, I've noticed people in the stands before, too, just, like, randomly. Like, somebody wearing a bright shirt just stuck out, coming out of the corner. Like,
Big
oh,
two
hey.
shirt, right?
Like,
Yeah,
no,
big two.
no.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
No.
I've done that before. It was actually Bandolero days. We were pulling. This wasn't under green, but we were pulling onto the racetrack, and for some reason they were stopping on the start-finish line, and I didn't know they were stopping. But I noticed somebody in the stands. So here I come down the hill, full bore, and totally ran into the car in front of me. Flat, killed the car in front of me. Actually,
I feel like I remember that.
The person that hit actually didn't even start the race because I bent the rear end out in their car. I hit him so hard. Like,
It was a plan.
it
That
was
guy was
complete-
actually faster
it
than
was
him.
co-
I was
so-
gonna
I was
It was a
completely
plan.
embarrassed, and
He did it on purpose.
I don't tell a lot of people, and actually probably I've never told that story. I'm sure people have seen it before.
I feel
but
like I remember that.
it was during a race. I mean, in the longer races, I've ran a couple 200-300 lap races. Like Kyle say, when you're out kind of on your own, nothing going on, you kind of just go blank and start thinking about life or burgers or ice cream. I mean, ice cream every now and then sounds good on the
Yeah.
racetrack.
I guess that creeps me out, because I've never went that fast. So being a driver going that fast and your mind wanders, it's like I'd be hanging onto the steering wheel so tight and wouldn't be able to even think about nothing besides, oh my goodness, don't hit
yeah.
me.
The driving
But,
aspect is still there. Like,
yeah.
you're not losing that. It's just
And the speed is relative, though. Like, when you get off the highway doing 70 and you go 30, you're like, man, I'm going really slow. And, like, you were used to doing 70, and that didn't seem fast at all. So, like, it's all relative. And when you're when you're on the racetrack, it seems slow. It doesn't seem that fast. Like,
No.
your first lap or two sometimes does, but it all slows down for you pretty well.
Mikey, fan question.
Uh-oh.
What's your best memory from Sugar River?
Best memory from Sugar River. Man, you guys take me way back. I don't remember what I did last week, let alone 18 years ago.
He's hit a lot of walls in his life.
And I always get scared when I hit them.
Yeah.
Probably, actually, it's probably not a good memory to have, but the one memory I do have is back when me and my cousin Chris were racing, and it was the start of a race. I don't know, on the start of the race down a long straightaway, we'd all spread out and go 3 or 4 wide. And for some reason and somehow, we both decide to flip upside down that wreck. And we both go sliding into turn 2 upside down on our helmets. I was small enough that I could crouch down below the steering wheel, so I didn't get too hurt. But my cousin he was a bigger guy, and so he cart landed on him. So I was about 2'2" and about 40 pounds, and I jump out of my cart and go flip the cart off of him. And
he's lying. Liz was probably there before.
no,
he
yeah,
even got it.
that was gonna be my next thing. Liz beat the safety crew out to the carts.
I know she did.
Yeah, no, but and Liz better quote in there, Liz, that I did flip the cart off of Chris, and it was just, it was a lot of young memories there. I remember sitting in the trailer watching cartoons before the race, and just, it was the growing stages of racing, I guess.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Back in the day.
Another fan question: is Mikey going to race full time this year?
Ooh. Putting you on the spot.
I know. As of right now, there's no full-time schedule that we're gonna run. We're in works with a sponsorship out of the Midwest here to put our own super late together, our own MB Motorsports super late, our own car that will run a very limited schedule at the moment, just kind of dependent on the sponsorship. So anything after that or anything other than that, I plan to run at Rockford with my limited late.
Nice.
It just all depends on the sponsorship. My goal for the last 4 or 5 years is to get my own super late. I've had opportunities to run other super lates. Some have been good, some have been bad. Nothing against any of them, but it's just I want to run my own car. The only person that kicked me out is either Liz or me, and I got to be really bad for Liz to kick me out of the car. So
She'd never do
but
that.
I really want to get our own car together. Then we can do what we want.
Yeah,
with
you
it.
do your own thing.
Yep, and just so we're really close to having that opportunity to get our car together. It's actually getting put together at the moment. We're just trying to finalize all the sponsorship stuff. Don't want to let any cat out of the bag yet, but that's our plan as of now.
It is really hard driving other people's race cars. Like, it's not hard, but it's different because
You race different.
it puts a whole different amount of pressure on you.
Mindset.
And, like,
And
it's not yours anymore, it's somebody else's, but you got to drive it like it's yours. And I mean, it's hard, and it takes some of the fun away because it becomes a job almost. So,
And I'm sure it's hard to let somebody else run your car too, huh?
no, not really. I don't have a problem with that.
he lets me use his helmet every once in a while.
Yeah.
My
DJ's
first
over
win.
pointing at me.
Yeah. Gonna have DJ come up here and fight us.
Another fan question is: how do you get the sponsors that you have?
And very fortunate for what we have, and a lot of them are good friendships that we've created through the racing world, and that just want to help support a local race team. With Steven and Mike from Colin Metals. Steven, I actually started working on my car 4 or 5 years before they bought the business. And then, he was still working with us. And then once I got the business, we created a sponsorship friendship. And Crazy Times Pete, I worked with him back in the Ryan Carlson days when they went ASA touring. And I was just a young pup just trying to learn a little bit and just created friendships. And a lot of the stuff, like I said, is just you create that friendship. And then you want to sponsor, you want to buy a set of tires. And it just turns into something bigger and better. And it's been great.
It is, the sponsors, they are amazing.
Yep, they keep us
I'd
running.
love to find out if somebody wants to sponsor me.
All right, I got you
Here you
for
are.
one tire, guy.
One tire. All
One
right.
tire. Here
We're
we go.
all gonna hold Mikey to this now.
You can
Everyone
hold-
heard.
Uh-oh.
One tire.
Oh,
One
boy.
tire, folks. One.
And that was another question: when will you race again, Kyle?
That is a good question. I don't know. I'd like to come out next year and run some races. I really don't have a game plan in place right now, but a lot of things can change between now and the beginning of the season. I'd like to say be ready to come out at the beginning of the year and run a couple of races at the beginning and kind of just go from there. But I don't know. I want to race more, but it's really expensive, and I don't really have any sponsors, which is nice because I don't have to commit to anything. But
got $100 from me. I mean, I want you out there every week.
you can write your name on my car in Sharpie. So.
Hey, it's a start.
It's getting there, but I mean, I don't know. I want to be able to say that I'm going to race a lot, but it's hard. It's hard to know what's going to happen, what the plans are. So we'll see. Still got plenty of time.
Your car this season, that hand painted. Oh, I loved it.
I loved it too.
I did. I just to me a late model needs to be more vinyl. I think I mean. But when I seen your car, I'm like, holy cow.
Well, I hate wraps because I feel like, and then maybe this is just me tooting my own horn or being overly cocky about things, but I feel like I hang a really good body on a late model. And the car looks good always. It doesn't matter. It looks good. It's plain. I don't put anything on it. I never have. My cars have always been boring. But I feel like they always look good on the racetrack, and like they look fast even sitting there. And then these guys that
They could be
have,
fast on the racetrack once. It'd be a little different.
yeah, no, I don't race enough for that anymore. No, like, and I see all these people with these crazy wraps, million things going on. You can't even tell what's going on inside those wraps. And they win all these best appearing car awards, and you look at their body, and it's like, man, that thing looks terrible. Like, they didn't even try to hang a nice body on that thing. There's no good craftsmanship in it. And they won a best appearing car award, and it gets frustrating because it's like, man, it doesn't even look good, but because they put a wrap on it, people think they're just spectacular, and that wasn't very nice. So he just cranked my volume up, if anyone's wondering. So I was suddenly yelling.
I did not do that.
But no, like I talked Mikey into not going with the wrap thing a couple of times. I mean, whether he knocked the doors off or was putting new doors or quarters, fenders on or whatever like that, I've talked him out of it a couple of times because I think cars look better plain.
This year is my Limit gonna have a pretty cool design on it. I don't want to release the box.
You've
release the cat, but
you've told me about that. I'm excited.
It's gonna be pretty cool.
Need to hand paint it. Call it Brandon Reedner.
Yeah,
Can you tell us what the body color is?
It's gonna be it's gonna kind of be a throwback to my grandpa. Is all I can say. It's been 5 years since he's passed, so I thought it'd be a good time to do it.
Yes.
It's gonna be something cool, and I'm been saying it for the last 2 or 3 years that I'm gonna do it, but it just never fell in right. And this year I'm gonna do it, and I really am excited about it.
I can't wait to see it. You guys always have nice looking cars. Are you better racing with one hand or two when you're angry and flipping the competition off?
Who is that?
Yeah,
That would be Steve Rubeck.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
I've done it a couple of different times. I mean, I've done it when I'm not even mad at somebody. I've been flipping them the bird, like
waving
just
them.
a whole lap, just finger out the window. Just I did it to Kyle once. Adams, the guy running this. I was out there as like one of my first laps back in the car after like a year and a half. And I'm out there and I'm making laps and he's taking pictures of me and I'm flipping him the bird like three laps in a row, just one hand on the wheel. And I don't know, you don't think of it. I'm right hand dominant anyways when I drive. So like my left hand just kind of slides. I'm old school. I'm like the Mark Martin, elbow up on the wheel and just.
Could you see the finger in the picture, Kyle?
You can, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know it at the time. I told him to zoom in and he zoomed in. He's like, oh.
We'll share it.
They're going to share it.
Yeah, I tried it. I don't know. I've done it plenty of times. So it's
You're so mad you don't think about it.
Yeah, whenever you get loose, I always let one hand off the wheel anyway, so it's kind of just a habit. And I think my left hand's always kind of a weak hand.
It's just there.
Yeah, it's just
hanging
just
out.
waiting. So I
Along
mean,
for the
it's so
ride.
easy to get out there and wave at people, and
Yeah.
you know, and
That's all he does. Tells
Show
them-
them show them they're number one,
Yeah.
and
Who's number one?
you're number one.
Yeah, darn right I am.
It's the last night, and you have 3 drivers tied in points. Who are the 3 that you'd want to race against for the championship?
Oh, that's a hard one. Not Bobby Wilberg, that's
Yeah,
for sure.
no, not Bobby Wilbur.
You know, I
for
hear
sure.
his name on here so much.
I love the guy to
happens.
death, but he's a hard person to race with.
Yeah.
But
Off the track, I can talk to Bobby all day long, but I would rather not be anywhere near him on the racetrack.
especially the last night for points. But
Yeah.
that's a hard decision. You know, where there's a lot of good racers.
Did they specify what class? Because if not, I'd like to be out there with somebody in like the Sixers. If they didn't specify class,
They did not.
Say, all right, give me 2 other Sixers out there and let's go. Championship night.
Totally fair.
With a late model.
I would say
Exactly.
I would say
They
Casey,
didn't
That's safe.
specify.
Casey Johnson would be wrong.
Yeah.
He is a very good racer.
He's very
He'll
clean.
race you how
Yep.
you race him.
I don't know.
We can't choose each other, right?
I'd pick you.
I'd pick
You
you.
can't pick each other. That
That's
was
I saw-
right
I saw
there.
the question.
Cannot
I'm
pick
bad
each
at
other.
listening,
saw the
okay?
question,
I'm
but,
bad at listening.
It wasn't even on there
Um,
till right now.
Casey Johnson, I would pick. That's very hard.
You know, someone I've always had some good racing with is Jake Guiley. I've ran side by side with him for laps upon laps and never had any issues with him. So I think he'd be one of them. Depending on, not for a champion. I was going to say John Jr., but not for a championship.
I would say
So-
Jeremy Miller.
Yeah, Jeremy.
I've been very nice. We've ran for championships, and he beat me by 1 point.
Ooh.
That still holds me on.
James
so-
Swan.
James Swan. Yeah.
Yep. I raced against him for a championship in Mid-Am, and he was a great person to race against. He beat me. But,
And nothing against any other racers out there. It's just, we all race our own way, and
yeah. And you don't want to race against anyone because
no, you'd like to just be like to be so far ahead that you didn't have to race anybody, but it's
So you're gonna hold up on this $100 for a tire?
well, I just read that a tire is actually 105.
It's
It's 105. So
he probably gets the Bilderback discount.
I probably could get $5 from Liz. So
There we go.
I'm sure.
There we go.
So we'll sponsor you. Me and Liz will sponsor you for 105.
I'm pretty excited. I'm going to put Liz's name on the car.
Well, that's
not
fine. You can
yours.
put her name on there. But we got you for a tire.
Is Liz's name even on your car? Calling you out right now.
Yes, it is.
Where?
It's on the back. It's on the bumper or on the deck lid for a Bilderbacker.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, her name's on my car. It's on there.
Fine. All right.
I haven't walked around your car. I'll look.
I'll show you.
I'll
a picture.
take a picture so I can prove it.
Well, she'll probably put it on there.
Well, she might. I don't. Can you send pictures
Oh,
on
you guys are all watching this and I'm not. Hold on.
Mikey, in 2017, you drove Dan Lenzing 19 car, and Kyle spotted for you in the icebreaker. How did Kyle do spotting?
Kyle is
Terrible.
yeah. Scared me half to death. No, Kyle's been a very good spotter for me. We've and nothing. Aaron Phillips is my normal spotter. He's a great spotter. When Aaron's got a busy work schedule, so a lot of times he can't make it to the races.
I'm the backup. I'm not good
yeah,
enough to be a starter.
He's
second string.
He's a C squad, but
Second string.
C squad.
Third string actually.
But no, Kyle's a very good spotter. I think being that he was a racer and he knew what he liked, and kind of being in both atmospheres, it made him so we could really work together good. And I could say, hey, no, don't do that. I'm a pretty easy guy for spotting. Half the time I don't listen.
I was just going to ask that.
He
You guys
doesn't.
listen to your spotters.
So when I'm spotting for Mikey, I just want everyone to know if he drives across your nose, I told him you were there. I swear I did.
He calls them as close as I see them. But no,
I have had a couple of times where I've cleared you and done like the cringe. Like,
yeah. No, he's been
gets
very
left
good.
reared a little bit, and whoops.
We've been at different racetracks that he's spotted, and I'm appreciative that he's coming. And I call him. We go race on a Sunday. I call him on Sunday morning. Hey, you want to go to the racetrack and spot for me?
Not very much warning.
No,
half
he's
the
last
time.
minute. He just sent me his stuff today.
Yeah. So it's, but no, he's great. I have zero complaints, and everyone will say the spotter wrecked the car, blah blah blah. In the end, it's still the driver. The driver is the one making the moves. The driver is the final call.
Yep.
I mean, like he can call me clear or not clear, and I'm still gonna do what I want to do.
Right.
But he knows how to pre-plan for my move, I guess, so he won't call me clear at times where I think I'm clear, vice versa.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
You
So
can
we
plan
just-
ahead sometimes, like just judging by speed and things like that. And
It's been very good. I mean, like I said, I'm pretty easy to work with on that. Sometimes
he's so last minute on asking me to stop, or spot for him. I've actually,
stop,
you know
stop.
what? Talking is hard. Okay.
I couldn't say a word.
I have walked into the
Connoisseur?
track, walked past his trailer, gone to the beer garden, got a beer, drank a beer, came back, and hey man, can you spot for me?
Doesn't surprise me.
Sure. Like,
Go get another beer. You'll be fine.
Kyle, why did you change your number from 36 to 37?
Well, 36 was never really my number. I never really even intended to run 36. I got an opportunity to drive a late model for Steve Strasberg, and he painted up like Joe Shear's red, white, and blue scheme, had the 36 on it. And at the time, I was running 7 in the Mid-Am cars, and we actually went up to Jefferson Speedway, and I tested up there, and the car, the seat and everything, which if people out there know Steve Strasberg, he's a lot taller than me. Like, he's not big or anything, but I mean, he's bigger build than me. He's just,
He's taller than you. You're short.
Yeah, he's like 6'3", 6'4". I'm like 5'9"3/4. That
5'8".
The 3/4 is important. Okay.
Take your hat off.
No, you take yours off.
Don't want to see that afro.
And so I went there, and it was with Greg Belke, I believe. And it was just us two at the track. I'd never seen Jefferson, and when we left there, I still hadn't seen it because I couldn't see over the dash. And I went out, and I was turning lap times. I didn't know if they were good or bad. And then somebody that ran their weekly came over and asked if I was running Saturday night, and I was like, "Well, no, I don't think I am. Why?" And they said, "Well, you're turning laps fast enough to qualify in the top 5." So I was just wondering. And the guy was a guy that was like barely making the show, like right at that cutoff limit. So he was concerned that I was going to show up, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know I was running that good of lap times." And we got back to the shop, and Steve said, "Put your seat in the car, and I went out and I ran it like 6 times that year, 7 times, something like that. And I got so many people coming up to me saying, oh, they love seeing the 36 out there. You know, it was like I was watching Joe again, and I was very fortunate to have a lot of good runs right off the bat with it. So that helped a ton. And it just kind of snowballed into this thing where all of a sudden I started to be known as number 36 over anything else. And I had only planned on running it for, you know, those 5-6 races. My dad kind of made me keep the number, and so it stuck until just recently. And I changed to 37 because I wanted my 7 back, and I figured 37 is close to 36. And I mean, there's a lot of great races that have ran 37. A lot of people that, you know, I look up to, and I think they're phenomenal race car drivers. They're 37, so I was like, all right, I like the number.
Why'd you pick 2?
I don't know.
Hasn't everybody in your family been to? Like Roger, Ricky?
Ricky has been 02. I think my grandpa,
Same
the
thing.
last race car was
02.
02, but the stories I hear, he was 13 and something else. But I think a lot of it was actually Liz's influence because she was just such a Rusty Wallace lover. And I just kind of, and I fell behind it, and just, it kind of went with the family, you know, 02 Ricky, and then 2 me, just what happened. And, you know, I definitely don't like running any other car without a 2 on it. It's way harder to write.
He doesn't know how to sign his name.
When I signed the signature, when I go 17, you know, this year it was difficult. So
he had to somehow make a 7 look like a 2.
2, yeah, it was just way too much.
Or
work,
2 look like a 1.
The 7 and 2 wouldn't be so difficult, but the
1. Then you got the 1.
done.
He just like squeak it in there between
Just
the number
cross
sign.
that off.
It would
and
be
write
part
it
of the
to.
number sign, but then I just put that.
He'd make it work.
Yeah,
He's smart enough.
I'm smart.
In your opinion, what do you think is the most badass thing about your car? The motor, the chassis, the driver?
None of the above.
Wow.
I don't know. Probably the chassis. My dad, he's really smart with that stuff, and he's done a great job on everything on my car. And I mean, I don't know. It's a hard question.
Body's
I got
pretty badass.
Yeah, I do a good job on that. I said doo.
You bleeped it out.
Oh yeah. Bleep man, where you at? Come on. But no, I got a really badass motor too. Ray at Power Source, he does a phenomenal job, and I don't know. I think the whole thing is personally like maybe not me behind the wheel sometimes, but at least the rest of it's pretty good. Would you give me a look?
No, Liz said
What?
she's good for the $5, but I'm on my own for the $100.
Oh.
So you better put that on my tab, I guess. So.
I see Steven Headland is watching. Can we get Mikey a raise to kind of help me out there?
I don't know. I think the good race car is a little bit of everything. So I think we got a good engine, a good body, a good chassis.
It's a whole package.
Yeah, it's got to be the whole package. I mean, it can't start with something and then half beat on something else and then, you know, something like that. But we've been fortunate enough with our limb relate the last 4 years. We originally built it as a super late, and back in 2015 we switched it to our limited late, and literally since that day we've ran almost the same setup. And I'm so fortunate that somehow we got lucky enough to find that. And you know, I've wrecked a couple stubs on the thing. So, and we've changed the stuff, put different subs on it. It's still been just as good of a car as we always had. And it's just, I feel in racing, you get luck, you find the one luck thing, and you find it, you stay with it, and you roll with it. And, you know, we've had good luck, I guess, so far. So.
I mean, it's not like you just came out and were fast right away. It took you time. You know, it's not like that's where people think, you know, like there's a magical setup for everything, and there really isn't. Everyone's driving style is different, and everyone likes different things. So it's hard, and that's where I feel like I miss out on a lot of things, is just not racing very much. He's out there every week, or was out there every week, and he hit on something. I'm not out there every week to hit on something. I had, you know, 3 years basically where I was running 3 races a year, if that. So I feel like I've been behind the ball on that. So it's, you know, I feel like my car is still good. It's still badass. It's not any slower. Oh, sorry.
I said it.
But, you know, it's just not being out there. I remember once I qualified second to you at Rockford, and I mean, it was a close one. And we were talking, and I was like, man, like I thought I had it there. And then you went out and just had to ruin my dreams. And
Well, that's I'm a dream killer.
and
so I mean,
I remember you saying like, well, if you'd actually show up more than once a year, maybe you'd get a fast time or two.
you know, so I make a little sense in
Yeah,
my day,
yeah,
you know,
no.
a little bit, but yeah, it's the whole package. You can't just design something or start with something. And I've been racing late models since 2006, and it's been a mind-boggling years of learning stuff and picking up stuff from John Reynolds Jr., John Reynolds Sr., from my uncle, from anybody else I'm trying to stand around and pick something up from. It's really a collage, and then eventually you make your own collage, and probably 8 out of 10 times it's wrong, but
You learn.
But that's how you learn from, and that's we've with Steven coming on, and he's an engineer. I don't know sometimes, but no, just kidding, Steven. No, he.
Oh, you're fired.
Yeah. Oh God. No, with him coming on and knowing that aspect of just angles. I mean, race cars and angles, and everything's angled. So I mean, he came on board, and literally our race team is 3 or 4 guys, good guys that just come into a circle and talk. I try to overpower it because I'm the driver, but in the end, it's
He
all.
thinks he knows everything.
Yeah.
Sure.
In the end, it's we all make a decision. I think I'm right, but then they come in and overpower it and prove me that I'm wrong. And that's been our way of going the last 4 or 5 years, and it's really worked. And I'm very fortunate to have something like that.
It's good to have guys take in things other people tell them, not just be like, no, I know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
Going back to Steven, when he started working, he never worked on a late model before, so he really learned in the
He
last.
knew the technical aspect of
he
it.
knew
like
he knew the angles and
the math to
yeah.
it, essentially.
Didn't know what to put the race car together, the angles, the springs, all that stuff. And
Racers, we're just like dumb engineers. We don't know like what actually goes into it. We don't
know what it means.
Yeah,
so
we just know that we're making things happen and it should work. So
Mikey, do you plan on running state champion at Jefferson this season?
Yeah, I'd like to. Now that they're on a tire that I like. Last year they were on the American Racer, and I struggled on that. It was especially coming into last year, we never ran on it all year, and it was probably a race that we probably didn't need to go to just because we didn't have enough experience on the tire. But now this year, that for once every track in the Midwest is on the same tire, and I'm fortunate for that guys can now travel a little bit easier with the practice tires and have a little experience on the tire. We'll definitely come back. We didn't have a very good showing last year, so I'd like to come back this year and at least try to defend for a win or a top 5 or something like that.
Driving one-handed and holding the radio key down for the whole lap. Kyle?
oh yeah, I've done that plenty of times.
Yeah,
It's not. I will. It looks bad if you look at my car and you can see my hand on the wheel. I actually have my mic button on the back side of the steering wheel. So it's like the steering wheel has like a Y to it, and I do the Y up, and I put my mic on the back side, so it's like I'm flipping everyone off in my dash. Well, I have the mic key, so it's not that hard though. Like I drive with my thumb, and it kind of use it.
I don't. Thumb, though.
I don't hook my thumbs. I'm thumbs up. Hey. But I'm thumbs up, but then it's easier. Like I don't know, my thumb I push. I don't know. It's weird for me to go like this.
You're a pusher.
Yeah.
You're not a puller.
Something. I don't know. You want thumb war? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare. Let's just go. Oh,
I got him.
He had to use his other. He cheated.
No.
Everyone saw that. He cheated.
No one said rules. So
Where's Kevin Rogers at?
I'm sorry, I wasn't even paying attention. I can't even count.
Let's get Kevin Rogers here.
Hey, I fit through the referee. I'm good.
You didn't fit the templates.
Oh, this is blackmail now. You mounted my body.
got you.
You helped mount my body.
Hey, you didn't tell me to stop.
Well,
I asked you what you wanted.
This is a fan question. Did you both let DJ win in the last carry race?
Last kart race.
Carry.
Cart.
well,
Cart,
I
yeah.
mean, Jeff Tabor for I was not there, so I you can't say that for me. So sorry, DJ. Take the. Where's that medal at?
Folks,
I think that medal's sitting right over here. So
I want you to imagine this for a second. You loan a guy your late model. He crashes it, and then
Twice.
twice. And you're racing go-karts against the guy, and
what does he do?
he's behind you, and he's behind you for like one corner.
Yeah, just pound you right out of the way.
Yeah, just drive straight
drives
through you.
it-
But I've
drives it
heard,
in.
though, on the track, there's no friends, though.
No, but I mean, I feel like he would remember at least a little bit on a go-kart track, me helping him out. But it's,
You know what? No.
he's got one coming, whether it's the go-kart track, Rockford, wherever,
Hey, whatever.
Beer pong.
What?
Wait, what?
I'm just going to make him keep taking shots of Malort.
Ugh.
I heard that was a bad night, so.
It was great for me. So
Have you ever done it?
Maybe.
That's
I
a
try
no.
to slim down on my drinking.
Let's go get him
It's
a
wormwood.
Malort. It's delicious.
I don't like any type of woods.
I'm me neither. Not
I'm sorry,
not
DJ,
nasty.
but
no nasty anything. Wormwood, it just doesn't sound right. They use it as pesticides, like to kill pesticides.
I was
so
unaware
maybe we
of
should
this.
feed Kyle that.
Hey, now what are you
Got
calling
some
me?
pest over here.
I mean, I just don't think I
Do
would
we
put
need to
that
take
in my
this outside?
body.
We got a little bit left.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'm gonna say I
forgot.
would have to go live on my phone.
Well, we could just take the camera with. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, can we bring the mics outside?
Yeah.
Get this rumble on.
Carry table.
Yeah.
Which driver gave you the best race you can remember? The cleanest, the funnest?
Man.
It's probably that guy on NASCAR 03 online.
I don't know.
I would say Casey Johnson, honestly, for me. We had a really, really good race at the Dells the following this year. We came out ahead in the deal, but he tried. I'm not a guy that look in the mirror, but with Casey behind me, I got to know where he's at.
That's why Casey doesn't run mirrors, because he doesn't look behind him.
But it never hurt us, unfortunately. But he was trying every which way angle. He'd get under me. I could outbeat him, but we never booty each other. We never did anything dirty. It was a flat, hard race, and we were both smiling, and we still talked about it. A couple of weeks ago or in December when I saw him for a banquet, we were still laughing about it, and it was really enjoyable.
Probably mine would have to be Joe Shear Classic 2014 with Nathan Haslau racing for the lead. And he won that race, and then he went on to retire, so I wish I would have shipped him. But, I've got a lot of respect for Nathan, and it was a lot of fun, and we raced each other really hard. What? What was?
I should have just shipped him. Sorry, guys.
Well, in my head, I was like, man, I'm going to have to race against this guy a lot probably, so I should really think about how I race him, and I'm going to race him clean. And I race him clean, and then he goes and says he's retiring like a couple months later, and then he actually does, so I never had to...
Just because you're a young pup, I mean, you're just
I wasn't
there
that
like a
young.
big
I was
dog.
like 27 or
You
something
are
like
old,
that.
actually.
Ah.
I'm almost 28.
You're catching up.
You're still going up too?
So?
So?
You're only as old as you feel.
I'll always be younger.
True.
Always.
You know what? Stop talking. Nobody likes you.
Next question.
I'm not sure if I should even ask you because he's going to yell at you. You guys both have some awesome awards. What's your favorite one?
Favorite award?
Man. I think mine would have to be, because just not very many people around here have it, would be the Daytona Win Ring. So it's not something... Yeah, you better.
That's
You
something
better.
Google didn't even tell me.
That's pretty
yeah.
cool. That's very cool.
And it was the fact that I was changing tires. It's not like I was just there. And
He
I
was holding the pit sign. Don't
I
let him
was
lie to
not.
you.
I
Put the smiley face
Hey.
down. Put the smiley face up.
I hold the hell, like I hold a good pit sign. Like, it's not as easy as you think, okay? But
is it?
I was changing tires, and I'd never done it before. And talking to guys before the race, I told them that, oh yeah, I've been doing this for like 3-4 months or whatever it is. Like, started like from start to on the track 3-4 months, and everyone else is like, man, I had to train for a year before I even jumped off of a wall. And I'm like, oh,
Wow.
what? And we went to Daytona, and I had no live pit stop practice. None. It was all in the basement at Thorsport in Ohio. It was snowing.
Basement work.
Yeah. Calm down. And I'm standing on the wall, and I realized that I didn't know when to even jump off of the wall. So I'm standing there, and they're coming down pit road at us, and I turn to my tire carrier, and I go, dude, when can I jump? I didn't know the rule. I knew there was a rule.
Jump. We can talk about this. You don't need.
No,
you don't need to do that, Kyle.
We just had this
sometimes you just
conversation
have to.
before the
You know,
show.
he keeps talking about this jump. I mean, if life's that bad, we can talk, Kyle.
I mean,
You can work on my car full time.
you don't respond to my text messages sometimes, Mikey.
I don't respond to a lot of people.
I know.
I'm just not a good person
Mate.
in that way. I will admit it.
It hurts.
I'm sure the comments are just flooding in right now about everyone I don't respond to.
I'm going to start crying. It looks like you're going to start crying in your right eye.
Well, if you wouldn't have punched me because I was talking crap about you.
I didn't. I heard that you poked yourself in the eye to get out of work.
Poked yourself. A guy showed up at the bar you didn't like. Kyle did it.
Yeah, Kyle did it. Steven, if you're listening, Kyle did it. So.
Nope. I did not. I didn't know such thing.
So you can go back to your story. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I was just, that's all I really had is I didn't even know when to jump off the wall. And he kind of just had to yell at me.
You never want to jump.
No, you need to there.
Yeah.
Johnny Sauter did tell me to jump in front of the truck once.
Are you that bad?
Yeah, I had a bad pit stop. He yells at you. Like if you're on the edge, don't be a crew member for Johnny Sauter. Like he'll put you over that edge very quick. But I mean, the next pit stop I did fine, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Yeah, see, exactly. Actually, no, that wasn't that race. It's a different one.
Best award, I don't know. I guess
you've won too many. Like, do you even know what you've won?
You helped him. You helped him.
Yeah, you were my spotter.
Yeah.
So you were a part of that team.
Probably not for his best one, I bet. I got one for your best one, Mikey.
Curliest Q of the award.
Slinger Super Late. It's your best award.
What is that?
Winning that race. Roger and that's a trophy. It's an award.
It's a trophy, yeah.
That's your best
as
one.
As far as a banquet award, I guess is that the question, or a banquet, or just
any award you have?
Award.
Yeah, I mean either the Slinger race or.
He never wins Employee of the Month. I know that.
And you got metal in your eye. Did you do that at work?
No, I did not do that at work. So, did that at the race shop.
Well, he's not gonna get written up then either.
Yeah, so I'm good. I'm good.
Oh man!
I'm surprised I'm not getting texted at the moment.
Yeah, you might be. It's just your phone's on silent, so you wouldn't know.
Kyle, they want to know about your brother Troy and his spotting.
He's as
dun dun dun.
Wow, what do you think? It's gonna be bad?
Does he sing like I do?
No, but he listens to me. I think.
I've heard him.
I have been flipping out on the radio before, like full on freak out mode, and then all of a sudden I just realized a mic was keyed up while I was trying to yell, and I just stopped and the mic stayed keyed up, and I was like, oh, nobody gets to listen to me. But no, like he's a phenomenal spotter. He does great. Obviously I give him a hard time. He's my brother, so you always give family members a hard time. But no, he does a great job. The first race they ever spotted for me, there's a few issues, but I told him what I didn't like right away, and he adapted. And I mean, ever since he started spotting for me, I feel like it's been a huge positive, especially with him racing when he did, and it's been big. It's helped me a lot, I feel like, in my career. And I mean, he does a great job at it, and he's gone on to do a lot of spotting jobs for ARCA teams, and I think he's done a couple Xfinity deals and all that. And he always gets called back, so he must be pretty good at it. And I always want him spotting for me, so I'm a little
second string now. Or?
You've spotted for me once, maybe twice at most.
3 times.
Really? Was it 3?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay, 3 for Dale.
3 for Dale.
Woo. But no, like he does great. You know, I'm a little bit concerned with him having kids now and all that it's going to be hard for him to make it to some of the races. And thank God his wife Amanda lets him out of the house for some of them. But I mean, I got backup people for backups and all that. And I don't know, worst case scenario, I'll just pick someone random. Half the time I don't listen to him anyways. So same as Mikey with me.
Right.
I still pick you though.
Yeah.
If you guys could go back from the beginning, would you still become race car drivers?
No.
I'd have a lot more money.
Yes. No matter what, how much money we spend, it's the life it created, the friendships it's created. I mean, I got more friends through the racing community than I do through school or through anything else, and it's you can scream and beat yourself up about how much money you spend and this and that, but it's life.
You can't take money with you when you die anyways, so you might as well spend it.
And the thing is like if you do technically the math and the money, it's it's not you're counting in sponsors and you're counting in what you have in it.
But math is way too hard.
I know, but when you look at it,
and
you
I don't
really
have sponsors,
don't have everything in it. The sponsors are there, so it's kind of like Not for
Well,
you.
the masturbate and tackle.
They will if you come
the
back.
masturbate and tackle is slacking on sponsorship.
But
Well,
no,
I
and
can't.
it's
I
not-
can't help you there.
It doesn't fall just to the money, but I mean to the connection it created for me with my grandpa and Liz. And
Yeah.
there's
a lot of things you can't get back.
And-
You know.
Yeah.
the times we had. I mean, I remember back in Bandolero or Legend Car days, we traveled to Kentucky every weekend, and we, you know, the friendships we created in Kentucky, we'd be at a hotel, you know, in the middle of Egypt, like middle of
Good job,
nowhere,
good
yeah. And it just the friendships we created, and we've been to Lake Erie, we've been to Florida, we've been to Atlanta Motor Speedway, Lowe's Motor Speedway. I mean, there's so many things that I can say I've done through the racing that I would never look back and say I wouldn't want to do it.
It's something that's created a position where I feel like, you know, I can go a lot of places around the country, and I have somebody I can call to meet up and grab a beer with, or just, you know, if I need a couch to crash on. There's a lot of places and a lot of people that I know through racing that I wouldn't have had that opportunity. And I know, like, growing up, you know, when I started racing, a lot of, you know, parents, they, like my mom, looking back at it now, she's like, you know, I'm so glad that you started racing. She didn't want me to race in the beginning, but, you know, once I started, she started to realize, like, all right, most of the time, you know, 18 years old on, you know, your kids really aren't around very much. They're off at college, they're working, they're starting their own lives. And my mom got to see me every single weekend, no matter what, because we were going racing.
Nice.
So that's one of those things where there's a lot of things that I would never trade for it. You know, it's things that you don't think about at the time. You look back and you go, wow, like, that was really fun, or it was really cool. You know, the fact that, you know, I got to do this or got to do that. I wouldn't trade anything. There's things I'd do differently, yes, but I wouldn't trade any of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. You make those memories, can't let them go.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
They want to know about your worst wreck,
Ooh.
and Kyle, they want to talk about the bad ball joint at Madison.
Oh, that's my worst wreck, probably. The bad ball joint and my worst wreck are all in one, and that was where I had a ball joint, and it had we sent it back to the company that manufactured it, and they said, yeah, there's a flaw in the mold, and that's why it broke. And I was outside of Ryan Goldade, and it broke, and it was out of 4 at Madison and just shot straight to the wall. And I remember I'd never hit anything at that point in time in my career hard. Like, I've brushed the wall coming out of the corner, things like that, but never hit anything hard at that point in time in my life. And we came out of the corner, and I was still buried to the left, everything. Like, I'm a guy that's buried into the left side headrest at all times. And it broke, and I hit, and my head was still left. And I remember my head whipping over and hitting the headrest. I closed my eyes, and I opened, and I just saw sky. And I'm like, oh, where are we going now? Hey, we're going for a ride. And, you know, I'm staring at sky, and all of a sudden I start seeing catch fence. I see the flag man, the flag stand, and I land. I'm like, man, that hurt. And that happened on a Friday night at Madison. We were back there with the same car on Tuesday, and it wrecked the chassis so bad that, like, all the way back, even with me, we had to cut the right side frame rail off. And I was a little bit loopy after that one. I didn't, like, if my
You're
mom's
normally pretty loopy, but
yeah, no, if I hope my mom's not listening, because she doesn't know this nobody really knows this to this day, but I was so bad, I drove myself to the track that day because I had to work during the day, and then I drove up, and I got lost on my way home because I didn't know where I was going.
That's not good.
No, probably not. And then I met up with some friends afterwards at Steak and Shake, and they were like, wow, you're really not right. And I'm like, no, I'm fine, because I knew I had to get back in the car. So I just brushed it off, went home, went to bed, woke up, and tore down the race car with a headache.
You went to sleep. Could have had a concussion, or
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
a
I'm sure I had a
seizure,
concussion.
You know?
I got lost, and I know you didn't have the maps on your phone, so it's not like I could really just punch it right in. So I knew the way to get home, but I couldn't figure it out in my head.
It's like one road, Kyle. 2 roads.
No, I took back roads, so that's like 5.
It's like 2 roads.
It's like 5 roads. But if you miss one turn, you're way off. I missed one turn.
all right, I'll give you that.
I think I went like right when I was supposed to go left. It was like kind of like what I did on the racetrack. I went right, not left. You know,
You always go right.
man,
What?
He's giving it to you.
that hurts.
You'll be okay. Just go find out how to jump off the
You
wall.
know,
We're trying to stop him from jumping, and you're trying to get him to jump.
yeah, you go from so, yeah.
we love you, Kyle Shear.
There's a story about telling a guy to jump and not to jump that I got. I don't know if I should tell it, but
that'll be after hours.
No,
this may be when we get kicked off the show.
This was a guy that I worked with once. We were out in Vegas, and he walked out of the casino, and there's a guy on a parking ramp.
Lose that much money?
He must have this, like, not the guy that's
okay.
There's a guy up on top of the parking ramp, like, about to jump. No. And the guy looks up and goes, and there's cops all around and everything trying to, talk him down. And the guy looks up and goes, "No, don't do it. Just get it over with," and walked away. He got back to the hotel like 2 hours later, and there were cones up, the caution tape. He jumped. Oh. So he kind of felt bad after that.
Wow, good story to end the show with there.
Yeah, sorry. Did I just bring the mood down?
Yeah,
that was a little sad.
Can I get some more coffee here, please?
But sorry, you were talking about jumping, and that popped into my head. Why not tell it?
Let's not bring jumping up anymore.
Is it my turn to talk, or
sorry, I'll shut up. Here, I'll go to the bathroom for you.
You go potty. Can you not slam that down?
I know. Right in my ear.
All right. I don't even know what the question. Worst wreck?
Worst accident.
Well, we had a wreck, probably in legend cars, and I didn't get hurt, but Grandpa and Liz got hurt. It's kind of the funnier part of the story.
Wait, this is funny. What is going on in this show? Jumping and people getting hurt.
It's not funny, but okay. We were in Nashville at Nashville's fairgrounds in a legend car. We were running a little quarter mile on the front stretch, and somehow I launched off the guy's right rear and pretty much went straight up. The flagman ducked down because he thought I was going to hit him. I ended up barrel rolling like 5 times and end over end like 2 or 3 times.
And you're how old?
Young. I don't know. 12, something, 13 maybe. And I'm fine. Like, I get out, I wave at the crowd. Yeah, I'm fine. But Grandpa and Liz come up, so we had our golf cart there. So Grandpa and Liz are standing in the stands, Liz's video camera. She falls down when I start flipping, I guess, because she's scared. So she busts her arm all up or whatever. And my grandpa's blood pressure's going up, so he's got a bloody nose or whatever. So they try to run to the golf cart to make sure I'm okay. Our golf cart doesn't start. So he kicks some other guy off that he doesn't even know. He's like, "That's my kid over there, so give me the damn golf cart. I'm going to go make sure." He kicks some random dude that he never even met off the golf cart, steals their golf cart to make sure I'm okay. So they come up to me. They're all bloody. Grandpa's nose is bloody. Liz's arm is all jacked up, and I just the one that flipped. I had the hard accident, and I'm just sitting here waving at the crowd. So that was probably the worst accident I had. But, I mean, knock on wood, fortunately I've never got hurt in any type of accident.
No, but you did do a double duty one night and had... man.
I've heard a lot of stories about that night that I don't remember.
You were off in La La Land.
We were. That was the All-Star 100 this year. Well, actually last year. We ran the 76 lapper and the 100 lapper All-Star in the Super Late. And we, after the 76 lapper, I thought it was fine. It was all good. And then we jumped into...
You had it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I jumped into the Super Late, and for some reason that car was one of the hottest Super Lates I've ever driven.
Yeah, DJ switched with you. He drove yours down.
Both cars. Yeah. And he still tells me to this day that was good.
I think that's a highlight of the season.
Yes, I washed my hands, folks.
So I jumped into the Super Late, and about lap 30, I knew it was going to be bad because it was just hot. And we finally made it to lap 100. And I think I finished 5th, so I pulled up to the tech area. Tim Noble was there, and he's like, "All right, we're just going to roll. It's hot, so let's just roll across the scales. We'll be fine." And I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, "Tim, no, I need to get out of this car. I'm going to pass out." And somehow I got pulled out. Next thing I know, I'm in the ambulance, half naked. And then sit in the ambulance, cooled off. It was fine, and then got back out. And I guess I was talking like I've heard some pretty funny stories.
I remember.
I missed it. I just heard you were sitting in a chair and you really weren't.
Pretty much staring,
he wasn't there.
I was staring through people's souls.
Like, I went up there, like, at the time I was working with Mikey at Colin, and I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, man, just to let you know, you got to be at work tomorrow at 6 a.m. And he just looked at me like, So, like, he didn't even acknowledge me.
How was that again? That looks pretty normal for you. But,
that's how you normally look,
I ended up going to the hospital that night, and it was I didn't have a full heat stroke or whatever you call it, but my sodium level or something like that was down. So now I just chug some salt before I go racing, and I'm good.
And eat and stay hydrated.
No, eating's overrated.
Yeah, you don't need that. Not when you're racing.
It slows you down. It's too much weight, and
it ruins your left side
Really?
weight
It's
going
a lot of
across the
weight?
scales.
It is a lot of
Well,
weight.
go to the bathroom before you race.
Well, what if you don't have to?
What do you-
No,
yeah,
I can't help
exactly.
you with
Are
that.
you feeding DJ X-Lax right
I
before
can
he
bring
goes
you
out?
medicine if you need some.
No, I'm good. I do
Poor
not.
DJ.
Yeah, I feel bad for the guy.
I know.
Scott Anderson, would you drive any other class of car if offered the opportunity?
Yes, I'll
Absolutely.
race anything, anywhere, anytime.
Yeah,
I think any race car driver
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. You could tell us, let's go race some wheelbarrows, and I'd tell someone to jump into it. Let's go running.
No, you're.
I think
you're
we'd have to
jumping
pull
in and
you.
I'm gonna push you.
I'm heavier than you.
That's fine. I work out more than you.
No. You're lighter, we'd go faster.
Yeah, but then you would wreck.
You're more.
You're not. You're
no,
not.
you're more aerodynamic than me. I have
got
more mass.
You have more curves.
I
so the air goes over them.
Air follows curves and sticks to it.
Yeah, but so you have good curves.
You have more jutting edges,
I have
so
curly
it breaks
hair.
off.
Okay.
That is a good
but yes,
point.
I would. I would drive anything. Not that I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to go drive a truck or Xfinity or NASCAR full time, but I feel the politics in that series right now in this world is
Do you have a couple $1 million?
And I don't have that much money.
Okay, yeah. You
Not
can't
that
do
I
it.
wouldn't do it, but I don't see how it's
No, you
fun.
can't.
I mean, I really enjoy going to short track racing and having fun. And last year we took a break on our schedule and kind of really just hit and miss, kind of did what we wanted to do to find that fun again. You know, not that points racing isn't fun, not that weekly racing isn't fun, but sometimes you overthink the
It's
weekly.
stressful.
Yeah, and it really takes the fun out of the sport that we love and that we really care about. And last year, fortunately, we could do that, and with the sponsors behind us, allowed us to do that, and we found the fun again. We woke up on Saturday and wanted to go racing. We woke up on Saturday and didn't want to go racing, and it was enjoyable. And don't all you fans don't take this the wrong way. It doesn't mean I want to quit, but it's just you really got to have.
It's nice having a life outside of it.
You just really got to have fun in it, and you got to wake up and really want to say, I want to go racing. Because when you wake up and it's just it's like a job, or
You have to
it's
go
like
do
a
it.
drag, and you're not happy. You're not. It's you know what? Then you're not living. And we found that last year, and fortunate this year that we're hoping to have a good opportunity with super late racing, and then with our limited late racing, just to hit and miss. Don't worry about points. Just go win trophies and hopefully win trophies, I should say. And that's
always the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, no matter what, we want to go win a trophy. So but we're gonna have fun doing it. If we don't, we're gonna laugh, drink beer, and probably get stupid after the race.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're still gonna have fun doing it. And
Yeah, you got to have fun. Once it stops being
Yeah.
fun, you're done.
exactly.
That's the
and
thing.
That's a
There's-
nice sport. I mean,
There's some guys that go out there and it's like they act like it's life or death. Like, this is it. This is all that I got. I have to win every single race, and then after we go out, get done with the feature, we're gonna go home and not talk to anyone. It's like, it's not fun because nobody's gonna remember if you won that race or not in 10 years. They're gonna remember the times drinking beer after the races down in the pits. They're gonna remember that over anything else. So it comes down to if you're doing it and you're only doing it for your own personal interest, it's not gonna be right. So there's no point in doing that. You gotta really just make sure that whoa. I may have turned Mikey's mic up. Maybe.
wow, Kyle.
Or his
You did.
headphones, but
Real
Really
mature.
No, like, it's-
real mature.
you turned mine up first.
Not that
But no,
loud.
like it's hard because if you're only out there for your own personal interest, you're doing it wrong. You gotta have. I mean, you're doing it for your own personal interest. Race car drivers, we're very selfish people, but at the same time,
What?
you got to think of how do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered as the guy that won the race and then packed up and went home, or the guy that had a good time hanging out with everybody? Because
I agree with
nobody's gonna remember that guy
And
that
you-
packed up and went home.
And I think you got to think about the crew, because we have an amazing crew behind all of us that don't get paid to do it. Doesn't maybe we'll buy them a burger, buy them some beer, buy them a pit pass. But they're taking time off from their daily life and their daily jobs to come out and work on this race car for absolutely nothing. And when it gets to where we're
My
fighting,
mom cooks for my team.
when we're fighting weekly or not fighting weekly, but having just not a good night, and it's not fun for anybody. And that's where, like I said last year, we enjoyed it. we went up, ran the Dells. We could spend a Friday night, Saturday night at the Dells, and it was just, you got to find that for everyone in the race team, I guess.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Well, guys,
Got the look.
this is the part of the show where you get to do your shout outs and thank yous.
Oh, man.
Do you know what time it is? We went to almost 8:20.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
I feel like we can keep going for a couple hours here.
Yeah. Kyle just don't stop talking. But
Neither do you. Neither do you.
I'm just kidding. Stop, pull your out of
But when you
your
get
Man.
talking about the stories, time flies, and there's just
Yeah.
so many of them that.
time flies when you're having fun.
Exactly.
That's what I'm gonna say,
It does.
All right, you got them shout outs, Kyle?
Man, I don't have very many. Just
All right, make
I
sure
don't
you
know.
say thanks to me.
No. When I first started racing, I got my first win in Victory Lane. I didn't thank my mom, so I never hear the end of that. So I got to thank my mom.
Dick
Yeah, my dad, all my crew members, Tanner, Alex, Hornsby. Got to throw the last name in there. There's a lot of Alexes in the world.
Yeah, don't
There's
think those.
I don't know, Tanner. I said Tanner already, didn't I? Yeah. I don't have very many crew guys. So Don Reidenbach when he comes, Jerry when he used to help, my brother, his wife. Pretty soon I'm going to be kicked out of the seat for my nephew Clayton, and I'm pretty excited about that. But he's only 2 right now, so I got some time.
You do. You got some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to get him a
4
go-kart
years,
for his
probably.
birthday at 3
Hope
years
he's
old.
not listening.
I know he is. I saw it a little bit ago
Well,
that
you just
Clayton's
ruined
watching.
that. You just
Spoiler.
ruined that. So.
No, he won't remember. He's young enough.
I think
Your
he
turn.
will. I think
Oh,
he'll
is it my
remember.
turn?
At 3?
Oh, yeah.
He's not even 3 yet, though. He's
Oh,
only like
well,
2.
maybe not. I was going to say, I could go get
He's
my
2 and
grandson,
a
and he'll
half or
tell you what
something.
he can remember.
Oh,
and
boy.
he's 4.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
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 They
No, like
remember.
we're still
See,
at that
Kyle?
point of like I could probably like swear in front of him and he'll repeat it, but I don't think he'd really remember.
Don't try it.
I
Just
try
say
not
it.
to. Yep. See, Clayton is listening. My brother just said Clayton's listening.
See, now you just ruined it.
No.
You ruined it for him.
Well,
Way to go,
it's-
Kyle. You ruined everything.
Sorry.
You ruined everything.
That's what I try and do. Okay. I'm a
Just
ruiner.
drink your coffee.
My coffee is delicious. Pinky out.
Pinky up.
When in doubt, pinky out.
I have a lot of people to thank. Definitely not Kyle Shear, but
He never thanks me when he wins. He thanks everybody else, but never me.
first and foremost, obviously Liz and my grandpa. They've been everything in my racing career. Stephen and Mike from Colin, Pete from Crazy Times Pub. I got Fabino. I think I totally just slaughtered that name, but Law Office.
You
in
tried your
Rockford.
best.
Each and every Bilderbacker out there.
Name
we
them all
got
right now. Go.
all. Jay's Truck Service,
Terrible.
Paper Recovery, 3 Oberg Construction, Jim Olson Collision.
Good call.
Sam
Jim
Towing.
just started watching.
Oh, good.
call.
I got that one. Jim does a lot for me. He's actually gonna be a part of this new paint scheme we got going. So he's gonna lay some paint on it, and hopefully
Jim,
it's
you
good.
should leak the paint scheme.
If if you need
I'll
someone
give
to
you
paint it,
$1.
I'll paint it. But just everyone that's involved with me. I mean, Aaron, Paul, Liz, Steven, Mike, Mark. We lost Skippy last year, and he was a big part of our racing team. There's so many people that have really created my career to where it is, and I mean I could sit here and thank and probably forget a lot of them, but each and every one of them, Kyle Shear.
Woo!
Oh, he did. Thank
Got
you.
in there finally.
I saw him looking around like I was supposed to say his name, but
I actually wasn't thinking that.
I should probably thank the girlfriend now too, Kristen.
Ooh, yeah, you need
she's
to do that.
She's a big part of my life.
Don't
she's
get
a big
yourself in
supporter
trouble.
of the racing. You better say thanks on the chat there, babe.
I'll watch
But
for you.
there's honestly so many people that
She's not saying
that
thanks.
helped me through have helped me through my career, and
Use your words.
it's truly amazing. Thank you to you. Thank you to Misfit.
All making me look bad.
Yep. Yeah. Way to fuck that up, Kyle.
Whoa!
Beep, 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 beep.
beep beep beep.
But no, thanks to everybody, and it's a cool deal. And
Way to
hope
ruin
you
the
guys-
show right at the end.
Well, yeah, you're looking at the camera, so you're gonna ruin it. But
No, you said a bad word, sir.
you said bad words.
My little nephew is listening.
Sorry, Clayton. But no, thanks to everybody, and hope they had a good off season and a good season here in 2019.
I'm glad you guys came. I had a blast. This was so much fun. These guys are all laughing. Everybody on here.
I
I've
saw
never
one
sat
comment that
next to
said,
Kyle this long.
They want you
Yeah.
to keep
It's
going.
terrible. It's
no, we-
terrible though.
"Yeah, he smells
He's-
bad."
I was just gonna go for the same thing, but
Beat you to it.
you didn't wash your
Yeah.
hands. I could tell.
No,
but-
I did smell
No,
it. Here,
Jesus,
just-
I
did.
No, you didn't.
I did.
I
Here,
didn't
smell
smell
it.
I did not hear the water running.
He
for
licked
everyone.
me.
Well, salty, Kyle, but
Oh, that's weird. How'd that happen?
Outside the Fence would like to thank Sarah with designs by K&E, Left Turn Transport, the Dairies, the Rockford Speedway. Without them, we wouldn't have our stories and memories to share. All the viewers, and a huge thank you to Kyle and Mikey for coming to share your stories with us. And a huge shout out to Talking in Circles for mentioning us on your live show the other night. Say bye, guys.
I missed. Bye.
I'm Michael Bilderback, and I'm out.
What he said, but I'm Kyle Shear.
We're still on camera. So I don't do nothing stupid.
We gotta act like we're on a news team now, like talking like, yeah, good show. You know, like
That was a terrible show, Kyle.
Well,
You
it's
said
your
so many
face.
wrong things.
It's your face is what ruined it. Okay.
No, it's my eye. It's like the
No.
stagnant eye.
No, it like
Did
goes
the
from
light hurt your eye?
You know
No, it
your
wasn't
nose
that
is a
bad.
little bit crooked.
Yeah, I got punched one too many times, Kyle.
Who punched you?
No one.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably Kristen.
Like everyone's afraid of
Oh,
to
is she
punch
still
you.
listening?
I don't know.
Oh,
Does she-
God. Oh,
Does she
boy.
beat you? Let's talk about
Oh,
it.
she beats me all the time, Kyle. I need help. Please. Help me.